When hands cling to delusion and attachment, how can they hold wisdom?
Have you ever thought about a piercing question? Why is it that the more we calculate our personal gains and losses in life, the harder we ultimately fall? This is a brutal truth in our long journey through life that we often overlook. Today, based on the profound wisdom shared by the Buddhist Practice Association of Australia, we are going to thoroughly unpack this pain point that troubles countless people. This is by no means limited to esoteric philosophical discussions. It speaks directly to the tangible laws of life we experience every single day. Ready? Let us dive straight in. Welcome to today's in-depth analysis. We are about to embark on a fascinating journey to decode the root causes of human suffering step by step and unlock the true meaning of giving. You might be surprised to find that the very calculations we consider so clever are often the culprits behind losing everything. Let us look at Part E. Troubles are like passing clouds. In life, we inevitably encounter various setbacks. Sometimes we just want to save face or vindicate ourselves. But have you ever considered the true nature of these everyday afflictions? Troubles are bound to exist, just like clouds floating in the sky. If someone clearly knows the clouds have nothing to do with them yet insists on chasing after them step for step, wouldn't that be foolish? Many people act just like that, getting trapped in petty calculations just to prove a point. Yet it is meaningless. You cannot change what has already happened. Chasing after these clouds of affliction only drags you into a race to the bottom, making your own state worse and worse. What happens if we refuse to let go and allow this calculating mindset to fester? That brings us to Part R, the cost of greed and calculation. Let us slow down and examine the dark costs behind sharp calculation. Think of two figures from the martial arts world. On the left is Kiao Fen when wrong. He would even bear punishment on behalf of others. He harbored no personal grudges, everything he did was for the greater good. As a result, his rise was unstoppable. On the right is Madame Ma, utterly selfish, chasing personal gain, constantly scheming to control others. Yet what is not destined to be yours cannot be forced. By grasping at what never belonged to her, she ruined everything she had with her own hands and met a tragic end. You might think Madame Ma's story is just fiction. Look at the real-life examples on screen, manifestations of calculation in modern life. Some parents teach their children to scheme so they never lose out, turning familial love into a sheer transaction. Others bring two apples and a banana to a temple, bargaining in their heads, bless my business to double and make 10,000,000. And I'll return to donate $100. Scheming to extract benefits from others is fundamentally an act of self-harm. In the end, what remains? Zero, nothing. 提示字幕，下个春天也想这样，与你一起。
The source material shares a thought-provoking story about an extremely stingy father. To save a trivial sum, he stopped his son, who was practicing the bodhisattva path, from giving alms. The two parted ways, for fleeting petty gains. The father not only lost an extraordinary son, but also permanently forfeited immeasurable blessings. When you begin to scheme, you lose even the good fortune meant for you, ending up with nothing. Why mention this? It serves as a profound warning. Where does jealousy come from? It stems from differentiation, greed for gain, and relentless calculation. If left unchecked, such jealousy and resentment will eat away at your heart like ants every second, leaving you to exhaust your life in misery. Heavy as that sounds, how should we live if we let go of calculation? That brings us to Part 3, genuine generosity and giving. The universal law to break this cycle lies in the core concept of the field of merit. True giving is never a transaction. It holds no ulterior motives. It means supporting forces that genuinely nourish you. In the Dharma, parents are your greatest field of merit. When you were young, they cared for you unconditionally without calculation. When you honor and support this field, a mutual cycle of wholesome karma forms. This is the wellspring of true wealth and blessing. There is also the field of compassion. When encountering people consumed by calculation and suffering, we can benefit them with great compassion to alleviate their pain. You will receive great nourishment in the process, provided your intent is purely to give, not to trade. How do we discern relationships in daily life? Let's examine part 4, the metaphor of tree roots and pests. The master used a vivid metaphor. Imagine yourself as a great tree. Everything in this world that nourished you, such as parents, teachers, and true friends who support you without expecting returns, acts as your roots. Those who constantly scheme against you or urge you to exploit others are simply pests. Pests do not nourish the tree, they gnaw at its roots. For the tree to flourish, you must distinguish between roots and pests. Never direct your precious resources toward nourishing pests that destroy you. How does this operate in modern society? Consider the example of Elon Musk mentioned in the text. Even the world's wealthiest individual is bound by this universal law. When driven by greed and narrow self-interest, wealth and stock values can collapse like a cliff. Yet when projects align with global interests and benefit humanity, ventures thrive. This explains why those driven by selfish greed in stocks or lotteries often lose everything. The universal law is straightforward. Whatever you give, you receive. Stinginess breeds scarcity.
How can we step out of this quagmire? We arrive at part 5, letting go of attachments and embracing wisdom. This touches on the deepest philosophical insight of the text to transform your destiny. Align with universal principles. For most of us, the text recommends starting with the simplest, most grounded practice, focusing on one step at a time. For instance, practice pure giving. Whenever a calculating thought arises, pay it no mind. Eat your meals, carry out your daily duties, and stay committed to generous giving. While a rare few can cultivate all 6 pyramids simultaneously with complete perfection. For most of us, letting go of calculation and taking that first unconditioned step is what matters most. Keep this powerful maxim close to heart. If your left hand holds onto delusion and your right hand clings to attachment, you have no hands left to hold true wisdom. Reflect on this imagery. It is a raw truth. Your delusions and attachments, your meticulous calculations over personal gain have filled your hands completely. As long as you refuse to let go, the boundless wisdom inherent within you cannot manifest. You must empty your hands to embrace the great wisdom that benefits both yourself and all living beings. Our analysis concludes here, but your personal practice may just be beginning. Reflect honestly on the questions on screen in your daily life. Are you nourishing the roots of your tree? Or are you making self-deceptive transactions with pests? Are you aligning with the universe's law of generosity, or sinking deeper into exhausting calculations? May today's reflections help clear away the fleeting clouds. Give freely, open your empty hands, and embrace a truly expansive world.